are you really able to sleep when the baby sleeps is the question, right?
Can kids sleep? Can a 7-month-old sleep through the night, right, without having a feed?
I'm already getting
Every time I get that message, I have tears in my eyes.
Certifications or trainings you took to become a sleep coach?
Honestly, it took a toll on me completely. I was like, wow.
An exhausted mom to sleep is amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like you feel like you achieved such a big thing. Welcome back to the Rai Connect. Stories that inspire, journeys that unite. I'm Pranita.
And I'm Sakshita. Today we have an incredible guest who has mastered the art of balancing multiple roles. She's an IT professional and she's a mom of 2 boys and also a certified sleep coach for kids.
If anyone can understand the struggles of both system crashes and bedtime battles, it's none other than her. Let's welcome Ashwini Prabhakar.
Hi Pranita, hi Sakshata. Thank you for having me for the podcast. I'm really excited to share my journey here.
Yes, we as well.
Hey Ashwini, we are excited to have you on our podcast as well. So just wondering, about your background, like where are you from and what were you doing before you moved to Canada and how did you end up in Canada?
Okay, so my journey started with the IT professional. I was IT professional in India as well. I'm back from India. And I came here through the job, through as an IT professional, through Accenture. I was working with Accenture at that time. So it's been 10 years now in Canada. It's good. I ended up here for the work and I started liking the country more, the people more, right? How people are here, how they give so much respect to others who are coming here, and I started falling in love here, and that's how we made Canada as our home.
Awesome. That's interesting. Everybody has a different way how they came into a country. Going back to your career now, you have evolved in IT. You started working in IT back home, as you said. So I just wanted to know, how has your journey been in Canada, since you said it's already 10 years since you came here? How has it been over the 10 years? How has your career evolved?
Okay, so it's my total IT career is 14 plus years for now. And I started when I came here, I was just a developer and now a team lead, and now I'm a solution architect for the company. It's going so far good, but then life takes its all turns. I got married, I have 2 kids, and when I had kids, I got to know the troubles of a mom and a working professional, how difficult it is to juggle between things, right? And that's what pushed me to become a sleep consultant.
Okay.
Right? So it's my own experience which I took all along the way to become the sleep coach which I am today.
Right.
Yeah, that's very fascinating, I guess. So I think you spoke about, your IT profession. So I'm from the same field as well, and I know how challenging it can be, and you need to keep yourself updated all the time with new skills and all sort of things. So I'm just curious to know, how you're also a mom of 2 boys. So how do you balance both the roles very effectively? Like, how do you do that?
Okay, that's a very good question you asked. So that's one of the reason which inspired us to stay in this country. The work-life balance, right? Back home in India, all we work in the IT is in the evenings or the Western country time zones, which did not give me enough time for the family. And coming here, it made me realize that family is everything. Then comes your work, right? So that is what made me stay in this country, and we strictly follow the work timings and the personal timings. We do not mix both of them, because kids, when they grow up, they see us and grow up. They do not grow up by listening to you, they grow up by seeing you. So when you have a clear distinction between professional and personal life, they learn that, which is very important. 20 years down the lane, your kid should understand what family is and how to give time for your family, and work is not everything. So that is a very important question you asked, and I like it. So that's one of the my main goals of us. Even though we are
how do you balance your work, and how do you have any time set up like for your kids and for your work, or how do you do it, like the day-to-day life with them?
We strictly follow 9 to 4:30, right? We do not take away the work, right? And you first have to clearly set your goals everywhere. So even in professional life, we make sure to tell them that this is what we will be working up to, and so that they don't expect more from us. And anything extra, you can, we still work in the nights sometimes when after the kids fall asleep, because work is as important to us, but family is first. So once family duties are done, we make sure we have that clear distinction between work and family. So definitely IT is challenging, I agree with you, and so many days it has taken a toll on us as well, working late nights and stuff. But with kids, I make sure kids are priority first and then goes the work.
Yeah, being a mom is so challenging because I have 11-year-old and I'm actually still figuring out life, in general. But at the same time, what made you, what triggered you to choose to become a certified sleep coach?
Okay, so when I had my first one 6 years ago, I was a breastfeeding mom. Honestly, it took a toll on me completely, and he was not sleeping at all. Every 2 hours on the dot, he used to wake up, and you know how it is back in India. It's like parents say that if you are a mom or when you become a mom, it's just you forget your sleep. This is your new life. You have to get accustomed to it. Yeah, that's the truth, right? So it's just you cannot have. Hearing that made me feel so bad, and I started, triggering my brain that okay, that's fine. This is my mom life. There will be no sleep. I'll have sleepless nights, and this is my life now. I started getting adjusted to it, and you cannot believe 2 years he woke up 2 hours on the dot. Every 2 hours on the dot in the night. And I got used to it, and then I weaned him off breastfeeding, and he started sleeping through the night after 2 years. And so 2 years, I did not think about anything else. I had my second kid 3 years back, and it again, history repeats, so it started having a toll on me. But after the 6th month, I was, checking all these sleep consultants and all these, like what do they do, how, but I did not have that, gut to go and try anything new. Because our parents say that, oh, this is what it is, your life now, right? No one says this is not normal, correct? Everyone says this is what it is, this is normal life now. So with my second kid and having a toddler at home, it became very challenging. So I thought, let me give it a try, right? Money is not everything. Sleep is literally everything you want in your life. So that's when I consulted a sleep consultant, right? I took their advice and I started sleep training my kid. Initial days were really difficult, but slowly when I started seeing the changes in him, I was like, wow, can kids sleep? Can a 7-month-old sleep through the night, right? Without having a feed? Because all I was told was, okay, they need food, they are hungry, right? So it just, I was like surprised by the results, not just with the sleep, with his developments, food habits, all the things started to change, and it was all positive changes. That's when I started looking into the science of what it is, right? Hiring a sleep consultant means definitely they'll tell you why, right? But how, when, where, all those questions started hitting me. And being an IT consultant, it's always like why, right? You always start to question. So I started reading about these things. I was so fascinated by the study of these, and there's so many research being done till today in this field that it pushed me to study more. So as and when I started studying more about these topics, I was like, why not help the moms here, right? They need it, because we love our careers. We do not want to give up our careers. Obviously, you have worked so hard to be there, right? And I have seen how people treat who take, long leaves and who prioritize family. I really wanted to help moms, and this became my passion project. So this is how all went through, and now I'm here with 1+ year journey in this sleep coaching, and I do not regret it, for sure.
Oh my god, that is so relatable to me. Like my son I have a 3-year-old son,
Okay.
and before, like 3 years back, I was in the same phase, sleepless nights. But obviously, I should say my mom was there, my husband was there. So like at night, whenever I woke up, as you said, like we always hear like what our parents say. They said it was normal, so I thought it was normal, right? Like he was waking up for every feed and all that. But I never thought about, like changing that thing.
Correct.
Because I didn't know about that.
Exactly, right?
I think that's where you come into picture. many parents struggle, right, with the sleepless nights, because
Definitely.
I think here one more thing in Canada is we get 1 year maternity leave. So I think many people think, okay, we have those leaves, so we can take care of the kids and all that. But if in other countries maybe they don't have those many leaves, because in other countries they get only like 2 months of maternity leave. At the time, I think this if they consult the sleep coach, it'll be very helpful for them. So yeah, just continuing on this topic. So I'm just thinking, like, what certifications or trainings you took to become a sleep coach?
Okay, so for sleep coach, there is no such organization who gives you a degree, right? So all we have is these researches which have been done, and using those researchers, there are certain certification courses which are lot of them are available in the US. Center for Pediatric Sleep Management, CPSM, by Jane Heavens. So I did research 2 to 3 sleep programs, and why I went with hers is it's very structured, right? And with IT, I really wanted it to be structured. I cannot just go round and round and keep circling, because there are so many topics. Even now, I am studying about this. So that is one certification, sleep certification I did, and I'm doing another sleep certification right now. And that is just to increase my knowledge, right? So I'm more of a person who's like always hungry for knowledge. So what about this scenario? What about, I keep thinking. So when I stumble upon something, I find someone who has an answer for it. So I go ahead and I do it. So this is how I'm like still learning.
So as you said, there is no set of like levels or anything of that sort. So it's just, you're just open to learn more, and you just keep, reading about it and getting certified and all that.
Yes.
You know what, Ashwini, it's really good to know that there's some science backing up sleep, because there's the old tales, as you said, even I'm from India, and when I had my child 11 years ago, they said,
do not say that sleepless nights are normal. Might be for a newborn until 6 weeks is normal, but after that, if you say your child is waking up every half an hour, I would say no. And one more thing is, get help, right? We moms do not think that, okay, we have to get help, right? There is help available, and there is so much of knowledge available. Anyone can help you, right? Go to any sleep consultant, talk to them, get your answers, right? It is definitely not normal without sleep, because we moms, when after our delivery, right, in the postpartum phase, which we call that the 4th trimester, it is definitely going to take a toll on us, because mentally and physically, right, we are already gone through all the stages, and it's so painful for your body, and mentally you will have all those hormones triggering, you need rest, right? It is definitely not normal to say that, okay, if you have help, good, you don't feel that much, but what if you don't have help, right? So even with the help or without help, I would say go get help. That's it.
Yeah, that's such an eye-opener. I think when you come to like countries like this, where you're on your own, like you don't have many, every parent cannot come here and help you, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe some parents, they will come and they'll help their kids and with during the initial days and all that. But if you're on your own, you also have a full-time job. The next day you need to wake up and you need to work.
Yeah.
So when you're not sleeping through the night and you're doing your work the next day, so you're not productive in either of the things, right? So I think that's where like your advice is really useful there. So just wondering, is there any sleep tip you could give the parents which will help them with their children's bedtime routines?
Okay, have a routine. That is one tip I would give to all of the parents, say newborn, toddler, infants, everyone. Have a routine. We have forgotten in this new era, right? We have forgotten the routines. We don't have a strict routine to say this is the bedtime or this is your lunch time or dinner time. We've got used to this fast world, right? Everything is moving fast. We want to enjoy life, exactly, right? We want to go to parties. All that is correct. I don't say no, but have a routine. But having said that, I won't say that it has to be rigid. You have to be flexible. Definitely children learn with that, right? But first thing is have a routine, right? go with your routine, teach your children how to, what to, when to, right? How do you have your food, when do you have your food, and all about sleep is, I would say, associations. So associate with the right thing, right? I know first few weeks are more about just catching up, right? You don't know what to do, but after that, what? How do you go about it? So all this we teach to the newborn parents, right? After that, let's say they don't get help in the first few weeks, then we go with the infant stage. That is a different kind of phase we follow, and then toddlers, that's entirely different. So every stage we have their own things, because whatever you did in the newborn stage won't work in the next stage. Whatever you do in the infant stage won't work in the toddler, right? So we have separate plans for each and every phase. So, but one tip is go with your routines.
That actually makes so much sense, because when I was a new mom, I wish I knew some of this, because what happens is, back then there's no routine.
Yeah.
Okay, they say when the baby wakes up, you wake up. When the baby sleeps, you sleep. Are you really able to sleep when the baby sleeps is the question, right? Yeah, so this is great. This is definitely a great information. Now just moving on a little bit. So I just was wondering, do you see any overlap in your skills when it comes to IT and sleep coaching?
No, it's entirely different. It's totally different, because this is all about human brain, human body, and all those kind of science things. But my IT is like entirely different. I am software developer, so I keep working on developing things. But it's entirely different. There's no overlap per se. But I like it, even though it is like two different things in my brain, always in the back of my head. I like it because whenever a mom comes and says, because of you, I slept today, right? I slept so well that I'm able to concentrate this, or I'm able to think something. That is why I'm doing this. See, I'm getting goosebumps. So every time I get that message, I have tears in my eyes. So even after 1 year now, even my old clients come and tell me, like recently, I'll just share this. A 6 month, I did sleep train a 6-month-old, and recently she came to me because she's a toddler now. So she's like, I don't know what to do now. So I gave her a new plan, and she said it worked. Now she's sleeping through the night. So at every stage, I will help them. I have that plan. So that is where it is giving me energy for this passion project.
When I listen to this, I really feel like I should have met you like 3 years back, because it's not that I went through like, so many sleepless nights or anything, because obviously I had support like I mentioned earlier, but definitely, at a point like, because even I was like breastfeeding and all that, so my son was waking up every 3 hours, and it continued until I stopped breastfeeding.
Yeah.
So I think at that time, if I had consulted you, you could have given me some good tips, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Now that you brought this point, I just want to mention here that is one of the association, right? The sleep association, because they associate sleep to feed. They don't know any other way. Kids generally go by what they have been taught. You teach them that I'm going to feed you to sleep in the initial few weeks. They're going to learn that, right? Exactly. I'm not saying it's bad. You did survive with that for the first few weeks, I agree. But then it's up to us to teach good sleep habits, right? Good sleep associations. There are very good sleep associations which they can help them to sleep, right? So all these things, if you had known, you definitely would have, felt better, right? For sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for someone who wants to get into the sleep training field, like what are some of the recommendations you would give them? How can they start this journey basically?
So that's a very good question. So you don't have to be a mom to be a sleep consultant, right? All you need to understand is these science behind each of them, and there are so many courses available out there. All you have to do is go find out which course interests you, because some courses, every course will teach you the science behind it, the techniques of sleep coaching and everything. But what is that which is interesting you in that course? Some courses concentrate on the marketing side of it, right? How do you achieve that? And that's very important too. But for some people who do not want to be out there, I don't need to have a website. I don't have a website, right? All I need is to get that networking done. So you need to find out which is the best course for you. There's so many courses out there, so you can hunt it. So
That's amazing. That's interesting to know that there's different courses available, and people and need not be moms can choose the course. Bringing to my next question, so how did you feel when you had your first client? What was your experience like?
Oh my god. It's difficult once you enter into any field, right? The initial few months are very difficult because the client who comes has to trust you. Now you don't have any background. How do they trust you? How do you make them trust you? So all you need to do is give them that warmth and listen to them and tell them that it will be okay, right? All moms need to hear is it will be okay. It is not normal, but we will work together to get it done, right? So when I had my first client, that was through Facebook for sure. So that's how I've met them, and she was a mom of 2. She was struggling so much, and I did not know really that it has in me. I even did the certification, but after working with her and after a month of all that, and when she says that with 2 kids I've slept today at least for 6 hours, that is when I was like, okay, this is the right path for me. I chose the right thing, and from then on I did not stop until now.
Wow. I'm already getting So what has been the most rewarding part, with helping parents and kids with their sleep? What has been?
I live with the reviews. I live with the messages. I live for the messages, and I was like, whenever someone says that, okay, today I slept because of you and your coaching, and I have understood what it is, what it means to us. And when they go and share that with other moms who can, who comes back and says, hey, someone, in the group spoke about you, that is what I live for. So that is the most rewarding part. Money is not the thing for me because this is my passion project. But why money? Why do you do it as a business? Because I want people to take seriously. It's just a wrong notion with people out there that if you're not spending money, if something is for free, it's not worth it, right? Yeah. So that is why money. But apart from that, my prices are really like reasonable, and I don't have a website because having that means I'll have to charge more to my clients, which I'm not. I have my own ways of dealing with every other parent out there, every other situation out there, say co-sleeping moms, or they want them to be in different room, they want them to be in their own rooms. There are different scenarios, different lifestyles. So I cope up with every other scenario out there. I do not say that this is wrong, no judgment zone, right? And that's how I take my part. So
the best part is knowing that you could help a mom, an exhausted mom to sleep is amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like you would feel like you achieved such a big thing.
Yeah. Rather than having children sleep, moms have to sleep.
Yes.
This sleep coaching, what I do is, definitely it works for kids, but when moms sleep and get that rest, that is where it makes me happy. When they say I slept today because of you, definitely children would sleep with all the coaching done, but when they sleep and they are well rested, they will say that I am more emotionally connected with my child today, right? And when they say that is what it's like. See, I'm still getting goosebumps. So every time I talk about this topic and talk about my clients, talk to them, understand them, get them sleep, right? That's what makes it worth it.
Yeah. I'm sure, like, even though, these tips and tricks and, when parents say that they slept well, sounds amazing. But I'm sure when a parent came and enrolled into this, I'm going to make my child sleep coach. Sleep train train. But they still have prejudices in their head.
Yeah.
Like, is this the right thing? Is it right? Oh, my child is crying. How can I leave my child alone? So what do you say to such parents?
Okay. So first thing is no judgment, right? Whatever they come and say, they say, I want to co-sleep with my child. Will you be able to help? Yes, obviously, right? So first thing I tell them is, you have to make up your mind. This is not teaching your child. First, you have to first get into this. Make up your mind that you're teaching some skill to your child. Only then this is going to work. Let's say this is not for you. That's fine. That's completely fine. There are children who can sleep without sleep training, and sleep training is not for everyone. Correct? So I tell them the same thing. First you trust yourself, trust your kid, trust the whole process, and if you can do all of these 3, only then I'll be able to help you. Because I might give 100 tips. If a mom or if a parent is not able to follow that, then there's no point, because I cannot go and do that. It's them who is going to do that. So making up their mind is what this is all about.
Yeah, I think it's very challenging as well, right? Like convincing them and I think patience is the key for everything.
Yeah.
So just shifting gears a bit, talk about your family. You know, how do your boys feel that they have a sleep coach at home? How do they feel about that?
They don't know. They are still so young, so they don't know anything about it. But my husband is so supportive of this. When I first told, initially, even when we wanted to sleep train my second one, he did not say no. But he said, if you can do it, then go ahead and do it. I don't have any problem because he does not know anything about it. But he gave me all the authority to say that if you decide that you want to do it, so go ahead and do it. So they have seen so many clients who even say that my husband does not want to be involved, but I will do it. Right? So, and my kids, they don't know, but I am well rested. My little ones are well rested. So when children sleep well, parents sleep well, when the family rests, it's a success. So
Right. So, you know, again, piggybacking on the same thing. So, what is one thing you wish you had known before starting the sleep training coaching? Because you did it only when it came to your second one, right? So, what is one thing you wish you had known?
I wish I had done it with my first one too. I wouldn't have struggled for 2 years. You know, waking up every 2 hours on the dot and spoiling all my sleep. But probably that's for good because that's what pushed me towards hiring a sleep consultant. Doing the sleep training for my little one, and that is when it's like, because I suffered so much, it pushed me so much to do this.
True.
I became more passionate about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's lovely.
I think all the moms you're helping, they must be very lucky to have found you.
I wish, yeah, that's good. Yeah, they definitely come back to me at every stage of their toddlerhood or infanthood, and they say that things work even now after a year as well. They work. There was one mom who came to me. They went back to India. I had sleep trained her before. They went back to India. After 2 months, they came back and said, "Hey, you know what? I did not even face any problems because I did the same things what I did here, and she slept so well. I did not even have to be in the home. I used to leave my child at home and go shopping, right, in India." So that thing made me like, oh wow, like if parents take things seriously, if they understand and listen to the sleep coach and do the right things, you can get your child to sleep anywhere.
Right.
It's not. There is a lot of myths saying that when you do sleep training you have to be in that place. It has to be the same room. It has to be the same parent. No, there you can make it a lot of flexible things because if you have to get to know what your sleep coach is trying to say, right? Understand and doing it the right way is the key.
So is there any like time frame for this, like for the sleep training, like is there any time frame to follow the process?
I would say start from newborn. So from newborn, you do not do sleep training. We call that as sleep shaping, right? The first 6 weeks is survival. So after 6 weeks, when their circadian rhythm starts to kick in, when they get to know what is day, what is night and all those, start your routines, right? Get into that sleep part of it. Give them good sleep associations, like help them to co-regulate. I would not say self-regulate because self-regulate does not come to children until say 5 years old. No. So we have to help them co-regulate themselves, build a good attachment and bonding with your children, and then start from the scratch, I would say. But let's say if you did not start, it's never too late. Even there are clients who are like 5, they bring in 5 years old, who even go to school, who cannot sleep, right? Due to various reasons, right? So it's never late. So at any point in your life, your child is not sleeping, say from newborn till like 6 years old, it's never too late, get help.
No, I think that's such a valuable insight. Thanks for sharing that. So what's next? You're in the IT field, you're in the sleep coaching field. So what's next? Do you have any like big thing in your mind?
Yeah, I do have. I am always hunger for knowledge. So what I realized recently, or like say 1 year back, was sleep coaching is about parenting also. So after the child turns 18 months, it's all about parenting. It's not, it might be a 10% of sleep problems, but it's 90% of parenting problems, right? You need to have that boundary with your child. You need to make them understand, because toddlers do not understand boundaries. And when you give them a boundary, they are happy about it. When you do not, it's going to be difficult for you and them as well. So this pushed me to do a parenting course. Now I'm doing a parenting course to become a parent coach.
Wow.
So that's my next.
So can I get help now?
Sure, anytime, yeah.
That's amazing.
I can't wait to, have another podcast with you to go ahead with that one now. Parenting.
I'm
yeah?
honored, yeah, anytime.
Yeah. And so this session was amazing, Ashwini. Now that, we got to know a lot about your IT career, your sleep coaching, being mom to 2 boys. Now I think shift the gear a little bit, and we're going to have a fast 5 segment with the rice. The very first question for you. If you were given a free trip, where would you go?
Okay. I don't know. Probably Switzerland.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. What's one skill you have that would surprise people?
Yeah, I can answer this. So I motivate more people. So all my friends as well, I will just I push them to do something which they cannot, which they will say that, hey, no, I'm not gonna do this. But because as a friend, I know how they are, I push them to do some things, which they'll be very happy about it later. So
We should definitely exchange numbers.
no, yeah, for sure.
So next question. Okay. So what is one chore you will ban in your house forever that you will do?
Cleaning the vessels. I can cook all day long. I can cook different cuisines. I can do how much ever it is. But after the aftermath of that, the whole kitchen cleaning and the cleaning, I don't
Not
like
possible.
it. No.
I think that's the problem in
Every household? Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to cook.
Yeah.
I clean.
Oh,
I don't want
really?
to cook.
Then
We
let's
swap.
stay closer.
So, 4th question. What's the most mom thing you have ever done?
Sleep training.
That's amazing.
Yes, that's amazing.
That's the best thing I've done, which I do not regret. Even though at that point it included some of the cries and stuff, which I know that there are different methods right now. There is a sleep coaching group which goes on, right? And they have 3 kids, 4 kids, and when I go and ask them what motivates you to have more than 2,
Yeah.
they say sleep training.
Oh wow! Wow, that's awesome.
So
Yeah.
run your thoughts wild.
I know. Yeah. What's one thing you love about Canada?
People. I love how people, talk to you, how they respect you. I don't know about now, but 10 years before, I love the people. So I'm more of a people person. I need people engagement. Though I don't have much friends, but the friends I have are very valuable. So I love the people. I love the country. And
So before we wrap up, Ashwini, do you have any advice or message you want to give to our listeners? And also let us know how we did in the podcast.
okay. So one thing I would want to give to the listeners is, guys, don't take it too, seriously. Give yourself a break. To all the moms out there, give yourself a break, because we are always guilty about not giving 100%, even though it's the 100%. Kids love you the way you are. We are always thinking that, oh, I should have given more, I should have done more, I should have taught this more. No, your kids love you the way you are, and just give yourself a break. Take a break whenever you can, because if you are fine, the family is fine. If you are not, then it's not. Your family is going to just rip apart. So take rest whenever needed, ask for help, and then just give yourself a break.
Absolutely the right advice, I feel.
Thank you.
So how was your experience with us? How did you feel, sharing about sleep training, especially because it's your passion? How did you feel about it?
I always love to talk about this. You give me an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, you come back again, I'm going to keep talking about this. But what I like is, I want people to know more about this, and you guys are doing such a wonderful job reaching to too many people. And I want to understand that sleep training is not training, right? I'm going to make it light. Someone told me that you cannot train your child, it's not a dog, right? So it's just a word, they say it's sleep training, but it's all about, I would say, sleep coaching the parents, how to do it, right? It's a sleep coaching what we do. So I always love to do it, and I'm so excited. I'm always excited to talk about this with you guys, and I'm happy that you're able to reach much audience here, telling them about different things, different dimensions here, which is available for new moms or parents help, right? So that they know about these things, because so many parents don't know about sleep training, right? This is something which is evolving, right? It's more of in the US. We Indians, at least, we don't know much about it, but it's definitely that I have evolved my sleep training process so much to adapt to Indian families, right? No one here, I have heard, because my sleep coach said, you cannot, sleep train co-sleeping, or I don't want to do that way, but I do it. I have clients from, India, I have clients from Germany, I have clients from US, Canada, everywhere, and I adapt to their lifestyle. I do not enforce something on them, right? I help them with their own lifestyle, with their own routines. I help them how to do it. So I'm happy that I'm able to share my story with you, which probably will motivate so many people to get help and so many people to get into sleep coaching as well. So great job, guys. I'm happy.
Thank you so much for that. So Ashwini, it has been such an incredible, topic, and also I think it was such an insightful conversation for us. We are so glad you are in this podcast, The Right Connect. So I think we all working in IT and being a mom of two, and then you're now like training, sleep coaching, So this journey has been very insightful as well, and whatever your insights are very valuable, and I'm sure parents who are listening to this podcast, it'll be very helpful for everyone, right? And also you're doing so much, you're making such a difference to every parent who is going through navigating the challenges of sleep and making their life easier, with all these techniques and tips you're giving them. It's really helping them a lot. So we are very happy that you have given us your time, and you have shared your expertise and experiences with us today. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, because I definitely need a stage to tell the parents out there that you can get help. You have all the resources here. Don't struggle. Don't think things are normal. So things are normal when you sleep well. So thank you so much for this opportunity. It really helps me as well as the audience. And if at least 1% can get help from this, podcast, it would be very delighted. I would feel more happy.
Yeah. Also, Ashwini, since you're a sleep coach and also, getting into parenting, so I just wanted to ask you if you have a social media handle. If you do, share it so that people can reach out to you. It's so much easier when they can send you a message, where you could help them.
Yeah.
So if you have a social media handle, please share it.
Yeah, I have an Instagram profile just for this. It's called Sleepyheads Official. It's SLEEE. There are 3 E's, guys. So PYHEADZ_official. So even if you can search Ashwini, you'll get the handle. So contact me anytime for any doubts. Even if you don't know that sleep training might be for you, might not be for you, I would say just give it a try. You never know, right?
We can also share your links in our description.
Yeah, yes, please.
We'll
That would be helpful.
Yeah. And before we let you go, Ashwini, we have a small token of appreciation to tell you that your story has been so inspiring, and it meets the purpose of our podcast. Our podcast is to inspire people who are either coming to Canada or who are in Canada or who just wish to listen to this podcast, right? So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Rice.
For our viewers, thank you for tuning in to The Right Connect today. If you found our conversation helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more immigrant stories. Also, drop your comments in the comment section below on how you felt about this episode. Thank you.
And if you have a story to share, send us an email to therightconnect@outlook.com, and we would love to hear your story. Until next time, this is Pranita and Sakshita signing off from The Right Connect, where stories inspire and journeys unite. Thank you.
Thank you.